Thank you. The third frame. Ronnie OSullivan to break.
Ronnie OSullivan gets frame 3 underway. He's not left a red to the right corner, which is normal off that break, but he's left a red in the middle of the table, which might tempt Stephen Maguire.
Yes, what has been noticeable here this year is how often the normal break from between the yellow and the brown hasn't left the ball over the corner pocket. Perhaps players have tried to work out how to do it. Opening speculative chance there from Stephen Maguire. Quite a way off. And unfortunately for Stephen, he hasn't as yet got anywhere near the form that he showed in his last round.
Yeah, and it must be slightly worrying for Stephen. As you say, I mean, he played so well in his last match. I mean, everybody's been saying, oh, well, the way he played last match, Ronnie's got a real tough game on his hands here.
Do you think the level of anticlimax, in a strange way, not so much that obviously this is a big match and exciting as well, but the anticlimax of how do you better it? Or
well, I think it'd be almost impossible to better it, but you know, as I say, maybe if that blue had gone in the first frame and he'd have been the one that made the century, then all of a sudden you just picked up where you left off. But it's not worked out that way. He's got to dig in now and just try and hang on to Ronnie until it comes.
the way the match stands, Stephen Maguire's got to outscore Ronnie OSullivan 2 frames to every one of Ronnie's 1.
Excellent safety shot, that. When you're catching the ball that thin, okay, he's not tight on the ball cushion, but just the control. It's a pretty good reply. It's a pretty good reply. It shouldn't cause Ronnie a problem. Well, can he get past the green? If not, looks as though it's...
Well, usually with a pack as tight as this main pack is, there's always some type of safety shot to nestle into them, but it looks like the 2 cushion escape and flicking off the side is all he can play here. So that's the first judgment.
Foul and a miss.
It's gone wrong. Miscalled. Ball probably put back, and Ronnie OSullivan will have another try at getting the judgment of that shot right.
Well, I don't know. Referee's had a look. I'm having a look. He's
back.
Well, he's having it put back, so no free ball.
Got a feeling that may have been a free ball, but not going to start getting involved.
Okay.
Don't get involved.
Thanks.
Referee didn't give it. He would have done without being asked, and Stephen had a look, so he didn't think it was. But I must admit, from our position, there's certainly a case of the fact that he couldn't have hit reds on either side. Anyway, it's the 2 cushion escape. He can't roll in off 2 cushion to the back of the cluster. He'll leave a red. So try number 2. Missed it again.
A miss.
Well, it's definitely no free ball this time, as you can clearly hit the red on the right-hand side of the table. Okay. Expect him to get a little bit closer that time.
Yeah, it's a tough one. You obviously can't afford to hit the red any more than about quarter ball, really, and expect to get down the table. If he was to catch this corner red half ball, he probably would escape down the table to around the blue spot, but he'd shift a few reds around, so he's got to try and hit this pretty thin. So this is why he's erring on the safe side. But at this level of play, a player's prepared to give away 20-odd points. You don't really want to, but you're prepared to if it's the only shot you've got.
Yeah, and that's why when people talk about a handicap system at snooker, it doesn't really work. I mean, to all intents and purposes, Ronnie at the moment is giving Stephen 12-point start. Well, now 16.
Oh.
But that won't matter at this level if a player gets in and can win the frame with 100, but it could be a free ball this time.
Free ball.
So, does Stephen Maguire continue to try and extricate 4 points to the situation where Ronnie O'Sullivan requires snookers? Or does he go for a speculative one in the middle pocket with an element of safety? It's a tricky yellow in the middle.
Yeah, but there's lots of value. He can't leave anything on, and if the yellow goes in, it counts as a red, and he'll have colour to follow. And it's there, and nicely on the brown, and there's 2 or 3 reds around the black spot area he can play for.
Well, an excellent shot. I mean, he could have been forgiven for putting Ronnie back in again there, but shows you he's still thinking very positively. So, is it into the pack or is it position?
Into the pack it was, and he's got a red. He's got a red to the right corner. And when people ask you about the maximum break you can make on a snooker table, of course it's 155, and that was a scenario. Free ball, okay, he took the brown, so the maximum he could have got there was 152, but that's how you do it.
So he's potentially on a 150 break now.
Yeah, taking the blue instead of the black.
Very rarely in a season do you ever see the situation where a professional snooker player is given the opportunity of having a free ball that he pots to make a break of over 147. The chances of it ever happening are so rare. Potentially on 150. I think he's a bit shy of pace. Could he get on the black? Should he get on the black?
11.
It'd be a miracle here at the Masters if it happened.
Well, he's shaking his head as he underhit it. Surely he must be on some red. I mean, if he's not, he had only a margin of error there. There's 2 reds above the black that he could have played on. Has he not come far enough? It certainly stopped him in his tracks anyway.
Yeah, I think he's on the red, but I don't think he can. I don't think he thinks he can keep on the black. Well, surely he can't risk this black into the middle pocket. The interesting thing would be if he did make a 150 break, he wouldn't win the maximum break prize. Only a 147 or a 155 would do that.
That's interesting.
No smoke without fire.
Anyway, what
else
was
can he
a
do?
half-decent chance? Yeah, I mean, surely he won't play this black to the middle. And
He can't play safe.
Yeah, he can only hit the pink and black. And off those 2 balls, he can't get to the balk end. There's a red near the left corner. It couldn't have gone much worse. So you think he might take the black on?
Black ball.
I really don't know here. I mean, he could perhaps play a run through on the black to the side cushion in an attempt to try and keep it safe, but I don't know. I think he may be tempting this. What a horrible shot to have to play, and what a great attempt. So unlucky.
Stephen Maguire 12.
I think that was a classic case, Steve, of the balls playing the player there, wasn't it? He had no safety, and he felt as though he was forced into playing the most difficult of pots. Knew what the consequences could be should he miss it, and how close was he? Unlucky.
I mean, he could have played a run-through on the black to the cue ball to the right-hand side cushion, but he probably felt that Ronnie O'Sullivan was going to somehow manufacture knocking that red in over the corner. Ronnie's biggest problem here is position. Obviously the pot's more or less guaranteed, but position is not guaranteed.
One.
Well, from thinking he might struggle to get up the table, he got too far up the table. He could play this brown into the middle, but he'd need to do a lot of work with the cue ball, deep screw off the baulk cushion to get back down amongst the reds. He's got to be accurate with this because he's playing it with a lot of pace. Wonderful shot.
And he's
Five.
come far enough away from the side cushion to be able to get his hand comfortably on the table, which is a big help in potting this red.
Six.
Well, and how well did he strike? I mean, he struck that so well. He really didn't hit that shot hard at all. I know we're playing on the best quality cloths you can get in the world, and they are very reactive. They're not thick. There's not much friction on the cloth when it comes to dissipating the spin of the cue ball, but even so, how well did he hit that?
Eleven.
Well, it looks like he's got a relatively straightforward red that he's turning down in favour of something more difficult, and I can only assume he's just... Does he want to clear the pink spot? I really don't know what's going on here. That red's dead straight, screws back for the blue. Perhaps he's going to be too close to the side cushion.
I think that is the only thing he's got in mind, the straightish red, and if he tries to get the right angle on the blue, possibly could go in off in the middle pocket, but this is a tricky red. He's not guaranteed to be on a colour off this one.
Well, he tried to thread his way through the gap there, and he's playing with a new cue as it is, with an extension, a small extension on the end, probably not used totally to the characteristics of the small little extension on as well, because it does change the characteristics of the cue. Interesting that John Paris, I think, made him 7 cues, John, and he chose one of them. Not exactly the same as his old cue, but in the papers, Ronnie came out and said today that he quite enjoyed smashing the cue up. He might smash one up every
Ronnie O'Sullivan,
3 to 6 months. We can just imagine John Paris tearing his hair out, thinking, where am I going to get the wood from at this?
Yeah, conservationist. But the way he's played with this new cue is just remarkable.
Yeah, instead of smashing them up, just put them on eBay and raise some money for charity.
Well, he did have a look. The main intention was to get the cue ball back to the baulk end, and
One.
having got the plant, he'd have been hoping for a nicer kiss than that. He's not on anything, but he could play a toe in snooker. There was quite a gap between those two reds, but as I say, he was getting the cue ball back to baulk, and if it did go in, give him an opportunity to snooker Ronnie.
Stephen Maguire, 1.
And a bit of a problem here now for Ronnie. These reds are nicely spread. Just trying to have a look where there's a safe one.
Three cushions, four cushions.
Yeah, to this red near the top cushion, but he's just got to be careful of the blue and the black. He's a bit narrow, is he? Oh, he's brilliant. Good shot. But he has left the chance of a red to the left middle.
Yeah, the pot's gettable. Not certain that he can play ideal position. Once again, tempting the middle pocket, but so close. Just caught the lip. Could have dropped. A bit too much pace on that one. And the white has poked its nose out past the green and has left Ronnie O'Sullivan a tempter. But you'd think he'd want to screw back into at least the bottom half of the table off of this. How well has he got to strike this one?
Well, if that was cricket, it'd be given a wide.
That's given me hope, that shot. Can't get them all.
Well, that might give Steve Maguire a little bit of hope as well, because Ronnie was a long way away with that, and it's not too difficult to start, and the reds are nicely situated, and he already comes to the table with a 17-point lead. Chance this.
Of course, Steve Maguire in his first round match was under severe pressure against Graham Dott, and it looked like he was going out of the event. I think 5-2 behind, raised to 6, but he dug deep and pulled himself back into the match. This is an important frame for him.
Bad. It's important here to get on the pink or black and get one of those high value colours on the spot.
5.
Didn't have to do a lot with the cue ball to get on the pink. Decent chance this.
Only had to concentrate on potting the pink.
11.
Wherever he positional shot to get on colour.
12.
Needed to be the right side of the pink there to play the next positional shot, and now he's forced to go for the one to the left, but won't be a problem. Could have screwed back a little bit more there. Might have helped things. Favouring the far jaw. And he's lost the cue ball a fraction. Bit too much pace on the cue ball there.
18.
Just a fraction. He's made this a bit more difficult. As you can see now, he's hampered by the yellow, cueing wise with his body.
$19.
Well, you'd expect him to get over the line here. 36 points in front. 2 more reds and colours, and he is over the line. And it will be a very relieved Stephen Maguire at 2-1, should that be the case.
25. $26.
see it.
32.
49 ahead, 59 remaining, so just a red and a colour needed. And this will make him feel
33.
better. Got his first frame on the scoreboard. Still not reached the heights of his last match, but getting this frame on the board may just relax him. .56 points to lead, 51 remaining.
39.
And that red will mean that Ronnie O'Sullivan won't come back to the table. Started off very brightly this match with Ronnie making the century break, but since then it's been a
44.
real cat and mouse affair. But intriguing. The red won't matter. He's got his first frame on the scoreboard.
Maguire.
Ronnie concedes, so he'll be feeling a